Rahim, my good students. Thank you very much for your feedback. Number one, some students were asking me that they wanted me in Pakistan, where I'm not in Pakistan, and I'm not going to come back to Pakistan because I have two nationalities. So at the moment, I've been teaching in a foreign university. And if I get retired from here, I will be moving to another country where I'm a second nationality. So if I come back to Pakistan, I just come for a week or 2 weeks. That's why there are no chances that I'll be teaching in Pakistan. So I can suggest for you, if you are, I know some good institutions for master in English students. If you are in Multan, you can go to Zaki Institute. That's one of the best and historical institute of Multan. Okay. For master in English students, you can meet Professor Anis Ahmad Ansari. He's a retired professor, highly competent, highly experienced for this study, and also my teacher. Okay, for the first time, who taught me in 1985 when I was a student, part one, master in English. So this is my suggestion for you. So now today, as you asked, some students told me that they have the exams very near and they actually wanted to ask me that so this reason you can go there. If you are there in Multan, you can go Zaki Institute, that is near Kacheri Chowk, Multan, okay? And meet Professor Anis Ahmad Ansari, the best professor, okay? The best professor for English, master in English studies, the best one. Pakistanis are the best one, there's no doubt. It's a historical, Anis Ahmad Ansari is a historical name for master in English students. So this is my suggestion for you because I don't have, even though some universities from here, they are private universities, and you know, sometimes when they ask me, I offer them just lectures online on weekend because I'm not free. I'm very busy in my present job. So as per your second question, that we need to finish the prologue to the Canterbury Tales as quickly as possible. Okay. So you can see, and now I have shared the screen. We finished yesterday up to line 19. Now today we can finish line 19 to 42. And they liked it. Students, they gave their comment, said old English to modern English was very clear for them, and they like the commentary I made. So I will make the commentary for these lines also. Let me first read the lines. We feel that in that season on a day, and we're saying that it happened that in that day season on one day, in Southwark at the Tabard as I lay, means in Southwark at the Tabard inn he was laying. That was the inn where he was also staying with other people, where all pilgrims they gather by chance. Ready to abandon on pilgrimage, all pilgrims were ready to go on a pilgrimage. The Canterbury with full devout courage. They were going to Canterbury with very devout spirit, okay? At night was come into that hostelry, and at night all had come into that hostelry. There was a night where in the night, you know, at night, all pilgrims, they gathered in that hostelry. Well, 9 and 20 in company, well, 9 and 20 in a company they were 29 in one company. Of sundry folk by eventually ye folly, any of various sorts of people by chance fallen, in fellowship and pilgrims were they all, they were in fellowship and they were all pilgrims. That toward Canterbury wouldn't ride, and they had to go to Canterbury for pilgrimage to see that sacred person for which they were going, to whom they were going, who intended to ride towards Canterbury. The chambers and the stables weren't wide. Okay, this means the bedrooms and stables were spacious, and it was a good type of tabard inn. It was a good inn which has all types of facilities and spacious beds and bedrooms, and there were stables for their horses. That their horses were accommodated very well, and well worn east at best. He said that we all were well accommodated in that best, and all pilgrims, they felt very nice at this tabard inn. It was a very good inn, and facilities were much more. And shortly, when the sun was to rest, and he said in brief, when the sun was gone to rest and the sun was setting, they had I spoken with him ever tuning. Poet says that he had so spoken with every one of them that I was of her fellowship soon. He was of their fellowship straight away. He became their friend. The 29 people in one company became the friend and came in friendship with the poet and made forward early for rise and made agreement to rise early. And they all agreed, 29 people and the poet, that they will rise early next morning to go to Canterbury to take our way there as you devise. He said, to take our way where I will tell you. I already told you that we all were going to Canterbury. These 29 people were going to Canterbury, and I was also going to Canterbury. Then the poet says, but nevertheless, while I have time and space. Line 35 means, but nonetheless, while I have time and space and opportunity, then now I have time and space to tell you, as further I in this tale page, before I proceed further in this tale, before I go to tales, because after this inception of the text, he is going to start from Knight's Tale. He said, before going to tell you tales of different people, I me thinketh it according to reason. It seems to me in accord with reason. It is reasonable that I should tell you all the conditions. I should tell all circumstances of each of them. So as it seems me, as of each of them as it seemed to him, and which they were and of what degree, and who they were and of what social rank. And he can also add that they were not in. It means also, and also what clothing that they were in. Okay, what type of clothes they had. Okay, and at a night then will I first begin. Will mean will, and at a night then I will begin. I will begin from a night. Okay, the tale of night. 43. So because today I told you I will only explain old English or medieval English of 14th century to modern English. Line number 19 to 42. So now line number 19 to 42 is finished. I hope while I was explaining in modern English, you have understood now. So there is no need that you should now think about. As I think that I explained to you, and I think now for me, as I finish these lines with modern English, you know that the meaning of this, the commentary, I'm now starting commentary, that by chance in Tabard Inn, these people gathered. They were 29 people in a company, and that night they gathered with the poet, and poet had discussion with all of them one by one, and he said he saw their dresses, equipments, okay, and they settled that the same night. They settled that early in the morning they will start toward Canterbury, to that church where that martyr is laid. So who gave the sacrifice when they were in critical time. And he also explained the condition of Tabard Inn. The Tabard Inn was a good type of inn where the beds were very nice, where the rooms were spacious, okay, food was very nice, and they were at the best. So this is the explanation of line number 19 to 42. Okay, I think in this commentary, Chaucer now introduces his narrator. You try to understand. It's important to realize that the narrator is not Chaucer himself, and we will see later on that the narrator has been endowed with kind of neutral qualities that encourage the pilgrims and other pilgrims to reveal information and attitude that they would hide. someone more robust in character. Okay, Chaucer uses the host. You try to understand the host to supply the more coercive mood, while the narrative is given the sort of sympathetic ear that encourages the pilgrims to betray themselves through their confidences. For Chaucer's primary audience at court, there would, of course, be humor in the discrepancy between the known personality of the poet and the weakly complacent quality of the narrative persona. That's very important, these lines. I think artistically, the use of persona is a brilliant stroke by Chaucer. It creates an illusion of reality, okay, which is reinforced by the fact that the narrator meets all of their pilgrims at the Tabard at Southwark. So that's the name of the place, Southwark. Name of the inn is Tabard Inn. It also enables Chaucer to make complex satirical judgments by having the narrator agreed with him that they all will go next morning to 29 will go to early in the morning they start riding. I think or report neutrally responsible behavior and attitude in some of the pilgrims. He said he will describe the equipments. He talked each one, every tune, mean each one. We learned that this gentle soul is ready to go on pilgrimage with full devout courage. Okay, so unless the comment is ironic, Chaucer clearly states his narrator's piety of spirit. Or what motive the other characters are given in these lines for going on a pilgrimage. I think the narrator's open personality is also stressed when we see the lines. So had I spoken with him ever tuning, and even I spoke with everyone that I was her fellowship. Soon I became their friend. They were in fellowship. We all were in fellowship. I was there in their friendship. The idea of pilgrimage is important to the Canterbury Tales. At one level, it may nothing more than a convenient literary device. Okay, enabling Chaucer to use the assembled 9 and 20 pilgrims as co-thinkers for all the stories he had accumulated during his lifetime. Uh, at another level, they might have used the device to include a wide range of individuals and social groups as more less complete cross-section of society at that time. Because we are talking about 14th century society, that's the old age. So you must understand, he may also have wanted the cross-section to represent the feld full of folk, feld, and it was filled with full of people, okay? A token of all humanity, as in Langland's poet's Plowman, with the pilgrimage to reflect the progress through life toward the holy city. So this is what I compared it with Langland's Plowman. So you try to understand. The pilgrims are assembled to go on pilgrimage and to tell each other stories. It is important to see the general prologue as the first part of a larger unit, and just as each part of a cathedral church delightful in its own way, that contributes, this cathedral church contributes to the significance of the whole structure. So Chaucer's prologue is a part of a literary unit and should be seen in the context of a journey to whole city and a series of stories that finishes with the parson stressing the importance of penitence. This is, I think, as far as I understand, this general prologue is isolation, is in isolation. You try to understand. It is like, I'm going to give you an example, studying try teach, we call it triptych or triptych, a word, typical literary word, a medieval painting in 3 panels, and though cancellation only, we can see if we go to, it is just like a concentration only on the scenes in the word in the central panel, ignoring the implication of heaven and hell, which frame the central scene. So while Chaucer's pilgrims assemble in a scene of realistic detail, that atmosphere are rich, poetic, and spiritual reverberations in the idea of a pilgrimage. That's all in these lines in the inception, right from the inception, line number 1 to line number 42. This I told you. So wait for the next lecture. I hope this commentary helped you a lot, and the interpretation also helped you a lot for lines. Wait for the next lecture for the tale of the night. The night is described from line number 43 to 78. So next lecture, I will describe from Old English to Modern English. Then I will interpret the meaning of the lines. I will interpret with, then I interpret the Old English with Modern English interpret. And after interpretation, I will go for my commentary. Don't forget to subscribe this channel. Have a nice day. And thank you very much, my good students. I really like your comments. If you have some suggestions, I like your suggestions, that they motivate me to do good for you. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe this channel. Okay.